Hey, what's up? How's it going? It's CDT5, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about pulling out of a tournament, actually. So, I was all set for one of the bigger tournaments in the Limitless Tour for Pokemon, and yeah, I'm playing Overwatch right now while I talk about Pokemon. It's all juxtaposed. But I had gotten into this groove, gotten into this kind of thing where I felt like I had to do a tournament, and I wanted to talk about not needing to do hyper competitive stuff all the time. Now, by nature, I'm competitive. I ran track, I played football, I did basketball when I was younger, all that stuff. I only did football and track to a higher level, but I wanted to I wanted to kind of talk about how taking time away from competing can be healthy competitively. And I thought that this would be a great time to do it since I had decided to pull out of a tournament. Now, I think that competitive burnout has become more of a realistic thing, especially when it comes to more unfamiliar modes of competitive and competition, so to speak. Like, I think it is a lot easier to get burnt out doing like a video game competitively or a like a card game or anything like that, stuff that's not necessarily more mentally strenuous, because trust me, trying to remember routes, concepts, and coverages in football and basketball schemes is plenty mentally taxing. I would not say that there's some sort of cerebral massive difference in level, especially when you're doing that stuff on the move. I'd say that maybe chess is probably more mentally strenuous than, say, football, basketball. Maybe not baseball, because baseball, there's a lot of anticipation, reading ball movements, stuff like that. But it made me think about why it is important to rest. And I think rest is a really underrated thing when it comes to these competitive gameplays, because especially those with a competitive background, one of the things that you learn in like high level sports is repetition is king. When you're in the track, your block work and doing that in repetition is so very important. Doing 20, 30, 50 block practices or block takeoffs a week, going in and out of cuts for football, dribble drills. Like, we are taught and coached so much that one of the main ways to improve is repetition. So when you go to an environment where it's like the most optimal thing is to rest, then that turns into a completely different conversation. And to a degree, some of that stuff does fit with traditional sports. Like, if you lift too much, you'll get hurt. If and I want to share a story with you guys, and maybe it'll shed some light on some things. So, when I was a freshman and sophomore in high school, I was highly ranked, and I made to the state finals. I had won my sectional both years, and pretty convincingly, good times, all that. Considered a prodigy. Not necessarily the favorite to win, but favorite to make it to the finals. And when I was at the university where we were competing, and I would get so worked up the night before that I would go to the track and just spend like an hour, and it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I would get into the blocks and I would just work and work and work on the blocks. And I think to a degree, uh, the nerves got to me. And all that block practice that I did during the day before the state track meet, none of it came back. None of it really made its way onto the track into the blocks. And I was reflecting because the last couple of tournaments we had, I shown you, and I'm talking about Pokemon now. The last couple of tournaments I had gone off to a hot start, 2-0, both tournaments, mind you. And if you'd like, I can have some sort of like record indicator for CDT5 of these past two tournaments, but it's literally been win 2 games, crash out the rest of the way. So, am I over practicing? Am I under practicing? That's the type of thing that was going through my mind. And honestly, I have a family. I want to spend some more time with the family, and I thought that this time of week was better served being present with my family and whatnot. But to a degree, there was a level of, is what I'm doing optimal competitively? And that was something that felt like it was pretty insufficient. I think it was a good learning experience and something useful, which is why I'm sharing it with you guys. I thought that it was definitely worth talking about. And as we're going through this time where I'm trying to accomplish these goals and whatnot, I want to talk about the bumps and every little part of it, you know? Now, am I going to be applying any of this to Overwatch? Who knows? I don't know, man. Overwatch was something I was way more invested in than Pokemon a few years ago, and I don't know if we'll go back there, but it's fun to, blast some robots once in a while, uh, self-destruct sequence, But I wanted to say thank you for watching, listening as I kind of talk through this out loud. I definitely think it's worthwhile. And we'll see if taking a little bit of a break helps with the competitive part. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.